What is material culture?
Material culture is the physical evidence of a culture in the objects and architecture they make or have made. The term tends to be relevant only in archaeological and anthropological studies, but it specifically means all material evidence which can be attributed to culture, past or present.
Clothes have been one way to establish our identity and communicate with others. The clothes of early human societies seem to have been more functional than fashionable, but this fact did not preclude the diffusion of clothes across human culture as an innovation. Early human clothing was necessarily functional, permitting hunter-gatherers, for instance, a certain degree of protection from the elements while maintaining ease of movement. Some examples are native tree bark. Bark was stripped from small trees and then dried in the sun before being pounded into a flexible mass and shredded into thin, strong fibers. These fibers were woven into fabric and made into clothing that was both comfortable and protective. Other examples are head adornment, which is from the ethnic group Tinguian, and pagladitan or presser from Sarat, Ilocos Norte. Another category of material culture is shelter. Examples of shelter are the Ifugao House. Ifugao House building is one of the most admired ethnic architectural designs for having employed an indigenous system of construction that is more complex than its seeming simplicity. Other examples are Ritual Box, which is a container for ritual materials from Ifugao province, a wooden bowl for general use, a container for storing salted meat, and a bench or hagabi used for religious function.
Musical instruments. Musical instruments during the ancient times were mostly composed of woods and bamboos. The examples of musical instruments are flute, carabao horn, shell, sagaipo, Jew's harp, violin, ukulele, guitar, clapper, and zither.
Hinalong is an Ifugao term for a short to moderately long double-edged bladed implement which may be used on a pole as a spear or in the hand as a dagger or chopper. This possibility of dual use is facilitated by the design which incorporates an integral hollow handle or socket variably covered by a rattan band.
Pottery and burial vessels. Pottery is the ceramic material type which makes up pottery wares, of which major types include earthenware, stoneware, and porcelain. The place where such wares are made is also called a pottery. Pottery also refers to the art or craft of a potter or the manufacture of pottery.
Vietnamese ceramics. The Vietnamese ceramics in the Asia Society collection date from the 15th and 16th centuries, although the country first began production of glazed ceramics about 2,000 years ago. Most of the collection's Vietnamese ceramics, which are stoneware, are painted with the underglaze blue. Vietnamese pottery and ceramics has a long history spanning back to thousands of years ago, including long before Chinese domination, as archaeological evidence supports.
Bayanihan. Bayanihan is a Filipino word derived from the word bayan, meaning town, nation, or community in general. Bayanihan literally means being a bayan and is thus used to refer a spirit of communal unity and cooperation. Although bayanihan can manifest itself in many forms, it is probably most clear and impressively displayed in the old tradition of neighbors, helping a relocating family by getting enough volunteers to carry the whole house and literally moving it to its new location. They do this by placing long bamboo poles lengthwise and crosswise under the house. Traditional Filipino houses were built on stilts, and then carrying the house using this bamboo frame. It takes a fairly large number of people, often 20 or more, working together to carry the entire house. All this is done in a happy and festive mood. At the end of the day, the moving family expresses their gratitude by hosting a small fiesta for everyone.
Thoughts or ideas that make up a culture are called non-material culture. In contrast to material culture, non-material does not include any physical object or artifacts. Religion in the Philippines is marked by a majority of people being adherents of the Christian faith as a result of Spanish cultural influence. In some parts of the Philippines, there are still places that worship some saints,